Hello and welcome to Will Watches. This is Arcane episode 4. So last episode was the episode everything went down, everything went wrong. We're left in this situation where Vi and Powder have been split up now. Silco is taking Powder in under his wing. Quite literally, she was like under his arm. So I think this point is the start of Act 2, right? And I think this is prime time for a time skip to have happened and we can catch up where everyone is at this point, what Powder's been doing under Silco's rule now, what Vi has been up to. I have this feeling that Vi is kind of taking over from where Vander was as head of the underground, but I'm not exactly sure, and it'll be exciting to see where this magic technology goes from here, what Jace and Victor were working on in Piltover. So before we jump into this, be sure to check out the Patreon. Over there you can find early access where we'll be a few episodes ahead. You'll find polls so you can vote for what's next, and you can find full-length timer-based reactions where you just sync up your own footage so you can see anything that I cut out from the YouTube edit. So yeah, let's just jump right in.
Can you believe it? Our city is about to turn 200 years old. A bicentennial.
It's shaping up to be an amazing progress day.
So like a big celebration today.
Everything he built either exploded, melted, or toppled over. And yet, here he stands. Your hex gates have done wonders for our city.
Hex gates, okay.
Reignited passions in arts and science.
So is that teleportation essentially? Yeah, he does look older. He's got like a bit of a 5 o'clock shadow. Wow. Loads of blimps and... Was this a big globe, like an observatory? Okay, so yeah, it's using it to teleport them. So this Stanwyck character, he focused more on the future than he did his personal desires. And I think this might be the conflict that Victor and Jace will eventually come to a head with. So it's like, yeah, this big grand event. So how long has it been? Like 3 or 4 years? Maybe 5? It's quite hard to tell how much Jace has aged. I guess once we see Powder, we'll probably know. Oh, that's cool, a little mechanical butterfly.
Our most famous protege, Jace Tallis.
Okay, so there's a few other races here as well.
A beacon of trade and prosperity for our great city of progress.
Excuse me.
It's funny how they've turned.
I'm working.
Oh, I can see that. I mean, there's so much crime to thwart outside your family.
So she's an enforcer. I don't know if we saw the blimps before, but there does seem to be like this big technological leap. This looks like someone from down below, and these were Silco's men. Is that all Shimmer? Yeah, that tattooed guy is definitely.
From your friend downtown.
That's the lady who lost her arm. So Silco's bribing his way up here. The Firelights, so they're like a rival team against Silco's team. That guy's master's really cool, it looked like an owl.
They're expanding. Check for more below. Burn it all.
Yeah, are they helping to stop the distribution of the Shimmer? No. Or is this where Powder's gonna be? Yeah, there's a monkey there.
Oh no, she's here.
She's got a reputation. They're really building up this entrance for her, aren't they? Boom, yeah, she's using her bombs again. She is. Oh, her hair's really long, down to her feet.
Hi.
And she's got tattoos now. I'm guessing this version of her maybe is closer to the version in the games now. See, much more adept at fighting, you know, before she was just running. Oh.
Vi?
Is that actually Vi? Or is it just someone that looked like her? Oh, the crystals as a timer, okay. And that huge gun. Yeah, that's just kind of triggered her. She's going crazy a bit now. So there's this leader of the Firelights, and he obviously has his mask, he or she. So I'm feeling like there's going to be a reveal to who it is later.
We just need to show him it's safe. And what about the council?
Victor's looking quite sickly.
It's our turn to decide the future of Hextech.
Oh yeah, look at that. It's a much more pure version of those gems. So it's just like a much more stable version.
Wait!
Yeah, it doesn't even react.
The next chapter of Hextech.
All weaponry.
Now design portable devices.
Oh,
Well, that gauntlet might not necessarily be a weapon, but it's like it could be used.
The Atlas Gauntlets.
Are these new gauntlets that Vi will have eventually? I'm wondering if, yes, it's a bit too powerful, it seems. I'm wondering if Victor could maybe build himself a mech or something. Because he's got all of these interests, he can't really walk. Maybe he can find something to fix himself a bit. It seems like the power is almost too much for this technology to handle, actually.
been a decade of careful research, and it will be ready.
A decade.
No, it needs thorough testing, doesn't it?
Putting that kind of power into everyone's hands is dangerous.
Yeah, it looks like Victor has a problem with that. I like the old school camera, like a box brownie. Seems like she's becoming quite the detective, actually.
He shot me.
Who shot you? Who were you working for?
Why does that not surprise me? Appearing in an investigation again.
So she wants to be a bit more, and Marcus is the sheriff now, okay.
There's more going on here than just the smuggling. If I could just question him,
I'll take it from here.
See, she was actually trying to get some information out of him, but Marcus just sent it straight to the prison. Just glimpses of the underworld now. The last drop still up and running. Who's the new bartender? Oh, it's more like a nightclub now. Okay. Gotta keep up with the times. Do love this neon aesthetic.
She fired on us.
There are always mishaps in battle.
Oh, so it's Silco doing it.
Expect better from you than excuses. It was your job to make sure things went smoothly. The topsiders are leaving us further and further behind.
Yeah, the top side, you know, with globalization, they developing really quick. Notice her speech, it's cooling her drinks as well.
Your sister's gone. You know that as well as I do.
I know.
So Vi has run off somewhere.
Can't live with him, can't stuff him back in the old baby maker. I'm sorry.
Are these two in a relationship? You know, I said he would groom her in terms of making her part of his team, but maybe he did actually properly groom her as well from a kid. Just like the body language. So he injects himself with a tiny, microdoses on Shimmer.
The only one actually worth my time is him.
The golden boy.
He's become this big face of progress then. But Victor is kind of, being hidden in his shadow a bit. Love the costuming design here as well.
If there's a time to present a new creation, it is now. Piltover needs a leader who looks forward.
Suggesting that he becomes the leader as well. Jinx testing off new gear. I mean, she's like perfected the bombs at this point. It wasn't her, but it affected her a lot. This is a cool area. And then we see Milo behind her, like a vision.
I got confused, that's all. Now
Really seeing how like fragmented her mind is, you know? She's really broken.
clean it up. Savika's a regular Johnny on the spot.
Is that supposed to be Milo? She's like built this robot to look like Milo.
And I'm gonna show him.
Oh, she's gonna interrupt progress day or something. Yeah, I love this like this cave that she's in.
They were asking if I could do the address. You should come up with me. We're part.
Yeah, exactly.
Not in front of all of them.
Yeah, look at that symbolism. He puts the cup down right in front of Victor's face and his face replaces him, you know? So is something going to go wrong when he shows off the technology here or something? That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. Or that Jinx is going to interrupt it.
And believe me, I'm just as shocked as you are.
This lighting is great. Seeing him like from behind like that.
This year,
Going off script maybe.
something that,
But he is hesitating.
that we will share with you
When the time comes.
when the time is right.
Okay, so he's holding back a bit. I think it is probably best though.
We vow to keep pressing forward, for we are the city of progress, and our future is bright.
I feel like maybe he could have just showed off the more fortified gem, hit it with a hammer, showed it doesn't explode. He didn't necessarily need to show it like in the gauntlet or with the claw, you know? But Mel's disappointed. It was still a good speech, it just wasn't like a showstopper, you know?
What are you even doing here, Kiraman? Don't you have a cocktail party to attend?
Yeah, so she gets bullied a bit because she's like so posh compared to the rest.
Get the fire brigade!
Is this going to be Jinx or is it a distraction? Yeah, I feel like this is a trap.
It's so hot, please. I'm trapped.
Is it just a recording or is it someone putting it on voice?
Building on fire by accident.
Yeah.
Get out!
So it's like Powder, she's got this calling card now, her graffiti.
The gemstone is gone, along with some of our research.
Oh, so now they can maybe develop some of their technology as well.
They may not be your preferred constituents, but they're still our people. The Undercity cannot be controlled.
They've gained all of this money and haven't used any of it to help the Undercity at all.
If the right person got a hold of it, it's possible they could utilize its energy.
We need to address this immediately.
I have this feeling like an all-out war with the Underground is coming.
I have come before you to recommend that we suspend all Hextech operations until the situation is resolved.
Have you lost your mind?
The Hex Gates must remain open.
Yeah, the monetary side of it isn't gonna... yeah, they're gonna like it.
I propose that a new chair be brought forth, and that House Talus be elevated to this august body.
What?
Yeah, see, Jace is the one getting promoted and Victor isn't, even though they're, working together.
I second the motion.
Well then, shall we vote?
It doesn't even seem like he wants to do it, you know? Is it like a big fan? That look like she's on a bunch of fan blades.
That's me!
Half a dozen enforcers dead! Enforcers dead!
Yeah.
A building blown to pieces!
Oh! Yeah.
So he's not happy with this.
Do you have any idea what you've done?
I do.
Her nails were like pink and blue. I wonder the significance of that. And these fireworks were pink and blue as well. She's still holding on to the memory of Vi a bit.
They've overstepped. If I can figure out who made this, it could lead me directly to whoever's behind it all.
Yeah, so what Jinx did, it put Silka at risk, overstepping into Piltover.
Since when did you concern yourself with the council's opinion?
since I became a counselor.
Yeah, dripping the reveal.
House Talus security. That's a ceremonial position. I'd live behind a desk.
But he just wants to protect her.
I don't need charity counselor. Yours or my parents.
Yeah, she wants to do things on her own. Stillwater Hold, is this a prison? Yeah, so she's just going off on her own investigating this. Love this scenery, like really building up the mystery.
He's got reason to talk.
Oh, okay, so it's this guy.
2135.
Will he actually give anything up about Silco?
What kind of incident?
The not so pretty kind.
Was he killed or just beaten?
You'll be able to, as soon as he can move his jaw again.
Who assaulted him?
Was it like someone working for Silco because he was talking, or was it just someone in the prison attacking him? Oh, it was Vi. Vi recognized him from working with Silco. Okay. Finally seeing her back again. Punching, of course.
Who the hell are you?
But Vi about it have been properly tatted up, haven't they? Okay, so that was Arcane episode 4. A lot of catching up with where everyone is after this time skip. We have Jace, who is now kind of the face of progress for Piltover after inventing all of the hex tech technology, and it seems like it's mainly being used for these gates. So of course Piltover becomes this kind of port city where they've gained a ton of money, and we see with the councillors, they were saying that the people of the underground, they're their people too, but we've seen how neglected they've been. So it is like the class divide has grown even stronger, because now the rich are even richer and the poor, they're still very poor, you know. After Jinx has stolen this crystal, this more refined crystal, the fortified one, the technology in the underground can develop even more now perhaps. And I think we're definitely seeing the setup for a Victor Jace conflict here. You know, Victor is just kind of living in his shadows at this point, and it doesn't feel like anything Jace is doing is malicious. In fact, Jace is actually a really nice guy. He just doesn't quite see what is happening with Victor. Jace, you know, he is reaching out. He's saying, you know, you should come up on stage too, and because we're partners, you're as much to do with this as I am. But Victor's refusing, and I think like part of that is probably to do with his like physical state, because he's got this crutch on and he's got this harness around his leg. He doesn't want to be kind of in the public eye, but he still holds a resentment a bit for Jace, I think, or at least that resentment is building at the moment. We're seeing this new group as well called the Firelights, who are part of the underground, but they're fighting against Silco, against the distribution of the shimmer, and they've obviously kept the leader very mysterious, who's wearing this mask. I'm imagining that is going to be a big reveal in the future on who that is. At the moment, the only person I can think of is Echo, just in terms of ages and who's accounted for, you know. We lost Milo and Clagger, unless Milo somehow survived, or Clagger somehow survived, but he looked more slender, but that isn't to say that Clagger could have lost weight, you know. But I don't think those two are here anymore. I think they died. And then all of the other characters we've been introduced to so far are kind of accounted for. Marcus is here, he's the new sheriff. Deckard is dead. Maybe it could be Deckard if he survives somehow. Silco, obviously. Powder, she's working with Silco, so she wouldn't be doing that. We saw her fight physically with the leader of the Firelights. She's obviously not there. And then Vi is in this prison, so Vi can't have been the leader of the Firelights. That was one theory I had. So I feel like Echo is the most logical one at the moment, unless it's a character we haven't seen yet and it's just someone who is somehow related to someone, you know. I don't think their identity would be insignificant if they're keeping it a secret. This operation, so they were trying to get Shimmer up into Piltover, so I'm wondering what's happening there. Is there some shadier side to Piltover where some people are addicted to Shimmer or something along those lines, and they're trading with the underground, you know? But we see Powder is obviously very triggered by seeing someone who looks like Vi, and it seems like she is just really in a bad place mentally. She's like having visions, just the way we see through Jinx's eyes, like loads of jump cuts, and she's seeing visions of Milo feeling guilt. Her brain is just really like fractured at the moment, isn't it? And then of course You know, last episode, I said that Silco would be grooming her, but I meant just like grooming her into being part of his gang, but maybe it was like actual sexual grooming as well, because from their body language, it did feel like there was something there, like they're in a relationship or something has happened between them. Because you don't just sit like that on someone you're like just friends with, you know? Yeah, Jinx's body language towards Silco, that was really weird, and like especially because Silco has known her since she was like 12. I'm not sure her exact age in the flashback, but she was like 14, 15 at most. I'm not quite sure. So we have these more fortified crystals now that Jace has been developing, but it still feels like they're too powerful, aren't they? Because when we see them in the gauntlet is just like surging with energy and it wasn't quite controllable. And I am glad that Jace did the right thing by not announcing it. You know, Jace's mindset is like in the right place, isn't it? But it feels like the technology needs to develop even further to actually be able to handle and control this more refined version of the crystals, you know? And then of course, Jinx has now stolen one. It's in Silco's hand. I'm wondering where that's going. What is he going to use that? What is he going to develop with that now? Or is Jinx going to be the one to develop something with that? Because she seems more adept with the technological development, whereas Silco, his other men are more to do with like the chemical stuff, developing the shimmer. And we did see what Silco was injecting is actually shimmer. So I'm wondering, you know, he only microdoses, he only does this tiny amount, but I'm wondering what that does for his body. Like, why does he actually take it? Does it keep him alive? Does it give him strength? You know, we see the point of shimmer is it gives people strength. They like Hulk out. So like, what does it do? Does it just give him enough strength to keep him alive for another day or another week? You know, I'm wondering what the effect of shimmer is on him. Like, why does he actually take it? Then we see Caitlyn again. She is now an enforcer, or was an enforcer. She's been fired, but now she's going off on her own doing this investigative work. And we see Marcus. Marcus has been promoted to sheriff now, taking Grayson's place, right? Has he reformed a bit, or is he just as bad? Because, you know, Caitlyn seemed like she was getting somewhere with this soldier, with this inmate that we saw got attacked by Vi. We saw Caitlyn was getting somewhere with him, and then Marcus didn't want to hear any of it and just sent him straight to the prison. I'm wondering what Marcus is like as the leader of the enforcers now, because he does still seem quite arrogant. So it seems like maybe he hasn't been humbled and learnt his lesson quite yet. And then of course the final scene, we see Vi in the prison, so I'm wondering how she got there, how long she's been in prison, you know? I'm guessing she attacked this guy because she recognized him from working with Silco. But what did Vi do to get imprisoned? Because I feel like it could be something super recent, but it could be something in the past as well. Like just after what happened in episode 3, she got arrested immediately. I don't know. So I really want to see what Vi has been up to, because everyone else assumes that she's dead, or it could just be Silco manipulating Jinx into thinking that she's dead, you know? That first scene when Jinx thinks that she's seen Vi, is obviously, that was way too soon for there to be the reveal of them reuniting. I'm glad they haven't yet, you know, they've left it an episode so we don't see anything yet. Maybe by the end of the next episode, or even an episode on, we'll get that reuniting, and that will be a big moment that I'm imagining will be a clash, instead of them it being like a hopeful reuniting of sisters, you know? So I think that's everything for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, consider leaving a like or a comment. And if you really loved it, be sure to subscribe so you can keep up to date for all the future episodes. And if you're interested, check out the Patreon, where you can get early access to the next few episodes right now. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.